All right, Morgan.
Yes.
Morgan, where did you come from? Where are you? where were you born?
Where was I born?
Yes.
I was born in New York City. Born and raised, specifically the Bronx. Shout out to West Farms, East Tremont. Let me stop. I'm so ghetto. No, but people ask me where I'm from. I'm like, I'm from New York because I lived in every borough because I was in foster care. So yeah, but from New York.
Tell me about your family growing up. You had mom and dad?
Yeah. Well, my father, he he abandoned me pretty much. He never was really like in the picture like that. Um, I don't have an existing relationship with him. Uh, and that's that. We can talk about that a little later if you want, like in more depth. My mother, I am not talking to her right now at this moment, although we had, I guess, more of a relationship than I do with my father. But I was predominantly raised by my grandmother, who's like the light of my life, who is like my world.
And you still have a good relationship with her?
Who, my grandma? Oh yeah, that's my love. That's anything and everything I do is, in hopes to make her proud. But I was raised in my grandmother's home. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment. It was me, my three siblings. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. And then my sister. Then I have two older brothers, and then my aunt who lived in the same apartment, and we all lived in a one-bedroom apartment with my grandmother. From time to time, we would live with my mother, but it was like far in between. And when we did, it was a bit dysfunctional. And yeah, it was a bit dysfunctional, and yeah.
When you say dysfunctional, what do you mean?
Dig right in. Okay. First and foremost, I grew up in a very religious family. So, my mother, she was a minister, like a pastor, person who evangelized and she had her own ministry. But I feel like I was around a lot of toxic religion, like where, it was like exorcisms and shit. Like, like they would call it, quote unquote, deliverance.
What kind of church was this?
In the house, in the apartment.
But you went to a church?
We did go to a church at one point called Glad Tidings Tabernacle. But I'm not trying to put out all her government. My mother's, because me and her, we're not talking because I did a video on another person's channel, and she felt like it was like an attack on her, and she still is in a phase of her life where she lacks accountability for like her part in like all the madness. And I just have decided to like choose myself and to like disconnect in love, and I love her very much, but yeah, she's a bit narcissistic in a way. Like she thinks the world revolves around her, and she said some hurtful things about a video that I did where I mentioned being molested by my brother at an early age. So yeah, I forgot about what was the question.
It's okay. It's okay. I think you answered it somewhere there.
Okay, cool.
How far did you go to school?
Oh, I went 12th grade, but I'm a high school dropout, unfortunately.
You dropped out before you graduated?
Yeah. Honestly, I went to like 7 different high schools. I was in one particular high school for, I would say, most of my time, like for like until my junior year. It was a performing arts school because, I'm an artist. And whatnot. That's like, my dream, my goal, my aspiration in life. However, when I was in foster care, I was going from group home to group home. And yeah, I had to kind of just like switch schools, and I wasn't very focused. I was a bit rebellious. I was looking for love in the wrong places. I was popping e-pills. A bitch was getting lit, in school. And my attention span is just, when it comes to like school stuff, it's just never been, I've been more of a creative person, excelled in dance, excelled in like the creative, subjects. But
was it obvious back then that you were that you kind of saw yourself as a female?
Oh, okay. So rewind. So, okay. When I was 5, I knew something was up. First of all, I don't consider myself female. I consider myself a trans woman. Although I would love to be a female if I had a button, if I could press a button and just like be that, you know, and have a native vagina, push some babies
because
out.
there is a difference between a female
right,
and a trans.
And I want to make a distinction because I respect women very much, and I feel like there's a lot of disrespect of women, you know, especially in media, and you know, a lot of representation for trans people that isn't the best, and it makes us look like we're trying to just like take over spaces and push women out, or just not consider a woman's feeling. And that's a blueprint, honey. That's like, you know what I mean? Like feminine energy being like, going back to when I was 5, my aunt, she used to get a lot of these Avon magazines. You know Avon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, throwback, right? But they still exist, honey. They got cute perfumes. But I used to cut out like the women in the pictures, and yeah, I just, in my mind, my name was Anthony at that time, and I had this like, I had this fantasy that I would run away, and be Antonia. Like, you know, I was a kid, so I went to the next best thing. Like, oh, Anthony, Antonia. Like, even my stuffed animals were like, I'll put A at the end. So if I had a Dr. Seuss, it would be Dr. Sousa. If I had a SpongeBob, it would be a SpongeBob. And I would just always try to like feminize everything around me.
And this was like roughly 5 years old?
So 5 years old, going to like 10.
But when did something happen with your brother?
Okay, the thing is, my brother, he was technically a child too. He was just 4 years older than me. So, yeah, he would, okay, my brother, he's bipolar. He was, you know, it was hard to, I guess, live with him at times because, you know, he would throw tantrums, and he was really irate, and going back to the exorcisms and stuff like that, like he, you know, my mom would be like praying on him and like trying to cast out demons while he's roaring like a fucking lion. And like, you know, he had issues. He had his own issues, whatever. I'm sure he's been abused. But he lies a lot. Like, he's a pathological liar. So we don't know where it stems from or who it was, because he says a different story every single second, every single day. Yeah, so he started to touch me like around, yeah, I would say around that time, like 5, 6, like, you know, as just like little bit. But then as we got older, it started to get like intense, and then it was to the point where like I kind of looked forward to it, which was like a really like odd thing. I liked it, you know, because like, you know, you're being touched, you know what I mean, like your anatomy, you're touched, even if you're a child, like it's like, oh, what is that? Like, oh, that feels good. And it's like, my older brother, I felt like he knew what was going on. He you know, he was 6 years older, and like I'll be like, you know, let's say 10 years old, and I'll be behind the couch, and my brother will be, you know, like touching me and like kissing on me, and like my oldest brother, he will pass by, he'll like laugh, he'll giggle, and things like that. So I definitely never felt like I was like fully protected, like that. I don't want to get emotional because I really don't want to cry. But that's kind of like what me and my mother were kind of beefing on, because like she thinks that like I'm lying about it, even though like my brother has admitted about it, and it's like she thinks that I went on the internet, you know, in pursuit of fame or for clout, and like I'm like saying all these lies, and it's like it's because she just doesn't want to own up to her part in it. So, but I forgive him. I understand that we were young, we were kids, you know. I was scared of him, I feared him. There was a point when I got to 12 years old where I remember the last time he touched me, because I told him I was gonna scream. I was inside we were staying temporarily because we would go from home to home. You know, my mother was stable, so we had went to Florida for a quick second, then we came back to New York. So we stood with her friend, in her house in Coney Island, and I remember him trying to get on top of me, and he would not to be so explicit, but he would rub on me so hard that I would even have like rug burns on my parts, it was like, and he would like kind of like pin me down. So this time around when he did that, and says we were in somebody else's home and everybody was sleeping, I told him, I was like, listen, I'm like, get the fuck off me. I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream. And I was trying to push him off me. And then he was like, no, I'm sorry. Like trying to like, because he knew this time around, like I had a little bit more courage and I was older. And I wanted it to stop because after a while, as the years went by, it felt icky. It felt nasty. It just didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. It felt just like the part of the day that I did not look forward to. And I just didn't know how to say no, because sometimes I would feel like he would threaten me. Like, like, oh, he's gonna kill my mother, or he's gonna kill us. Cause I mean, it would get bad at home. Like it would get like a lot of fights, hair pulling, all this stuff. And my mom's priority was my two older brothers. She always, even when she was getting beat by my brothers and me and my sister would jump in, she would fucking, like she would turn around and slap us and tell us to mind our business when we're trying to defend her. And, so yeah, so that's
childhood was crazy.
Yeah, my childhood was definitely, it was crazy. I became a water state at 14. 14 going on 15. Just to like quickly talk about my father, he was not involved. I mean, like when I was baby, like a baby, sure. From time to time he was around, but like every time when I was in the house with him and my mother, or not every time, but like things that I could remember because it's so, blurry, right? And so long ago. But I remember, them always like getting into fights, or like my mom begging him on her knees, like in front of me, like, stay. My mother would tell me, like she would ask me to call him and to beg him to, and I was little, I was like a kid, to like beg him to come back home. And one time I forgot, I think I didn't say the right things on the phone, and I was so nervous, and I was praying to God while I was on the phone, because that's what we were taught since we were young. And like I was just like, Lord Father God on the phone, and my father was there, like hello, and then my mom was just in the back, like tell him to come, like she's trying to use me as like the vessel to get my father back, because she was in love or whatever. And I remember hanging up and her popping me in my mouth, for that. And I always remember that, because that was just like, God, I bled. And, when I think of it as an adult now, I'm like, wow, that was like really fucked up, like for you to do that to a child and to put me, like I was a very shy, sheltered kid, like very quiet. That's why now I'm just like, it's me, what's up? Now I'm just like.
What were you like as a teenager?
So as a teenager, okay, I was homeschooled till I was in 6th grade. So like I'll make friends in the library. Like that was, lame ass bitch. I was in the library. But when I got to the 6th grade, I just like to give context. That's why I'm, telling you from, so I don't mean to bring you so back when I was like a preteen. Okay, but when I was in 6th grade, I went to my first school. I was bullied because I have a thin voice. I always had like a, just a, I guess, more flamboyant voice. When I was in chorus, I was a fucking like alto soprano, and they wanted me to be a baritone and a tenor, but I couldn't go that low, so they used to call me a, and I used to be really scared. I went to this school called Seflo IS 96 in Brooklyn and Bensonhurst, and they had a lot of Albanians there, and like they would like always like corner me and like threaten to jump me, and I was really scared because those little boys were gangster. Like they had guns and everything. Like it was really real. Fast forward, you know, I went to another school in the Bronx, and then by the time I got to 8th grade is when I started to like gain confidence, and when I was like, okay, you know what, bitch, like, you know, like you got this, you know, like just be yourself. When I got to high school, I was more like sure of myself. I was definitely like silly. I'm a silly person. I like to make people laugh. I like to make people smile. That's just the kind of person I am. So I was definitely that girl. And then like maybe by sophomore year, I feel like I was that girl. Like everybody liked me in the school, like in the school pretty much. Like, you know, I didn't have like no problems with anybody really. Cause I was in the dance team. I was a dance captain. And you know, at a point, so I was really passionate about that and like really in love with that, like doing modern, contemporary, jazz. I mean, we did it all, swing, hip hop. You know, we did all kinds of dancing, and that was like a really nostalgic thing that I carry with me to this day. It was a beautiful memory. But for the most part, I was, you know, I was me, but you know, little by little, I was becoming a little more androgynous, a little bit more like, you know, where it's like, oh, those jeans are a little tighter. Oh, you know, you got that. You know what I mean? Little by little, I had like the mohawk going in different colors. I was wearing the big bumblebee sunglasses. So, you know, I was, you know, feeling, you know, little by little, I didn't, okay, going back to what you asked me about, like, did I know I was female or trans or whatever? I didn't know what trans was. You know, I didn't know that that was existent. I didn't know that that was a thing until I got into the system, until I became a ward of state and I got into a group home. When I got into the group home, I went to LGBTQ group home. And I saw like 2 trans women for the first time in my life. And I was just like, wow. I was like, what? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? And then like, they'll talk about their hormones and stuff like that. But that was the first time I really knew about like transness or trans people. So yeah, I had the inclination of like wanting to be something other than what I was. And I definitely always had body dysmorphia. Like I was the kid that would go to the beach and I wouldn't take off my shirt. I was really self-conscious of my body since a kid. And so, and I always wanted to be a girl. I think my gender dysphoria became more prominent when I made my decision to transition and to start hormones.
What age was that?
18 years old. So I started at 18, which I think is a fair age. You know, I got my puberty going, because you know motherfuckers want to skip puberty and shit. Don't skip human nature. Like, don't do that. Like, there's people that do that, and like this. I mean, for some it may work, but I also don't agree with how it's promoted online. Like it's a fad. Like, stop your puberty today. Like it's not. That's part of human nature, and I get it. Some people don't. You know, they want to still. They want to look the part. I get it. You know, and not everybody's blessed with the genes or looking feminine or masculine, whatever. But you know, people make it happen. You know, but anyway. So damn, I forgot what the fuck I was saying.
How old are you now?
I'm 31.
31.
Yeah.
And what are you doing with your life? How are you making money?
I'm a hoe. I am. I mean, like, well, yeah, I'm doing sex work right now, and it's.
and I'm sure there's quite a wide. There's probably a large clientele for this, right?
Well, listen, I'm picky. I don't just be taking just anybody. And it's also something that like I've just decided to do because I'm looking for work right now. I'm actually looking for like something like a part-time job, you know, but like I've been working since I was 17, day jobs, 9-to-5 jobs, doing that for years. So it's not like if I just, you know, wanted the easy way out. No, I worked my ass off, stood on my fucking flat ass feet, my penguin ass feet for fucking 8 hours at a time, being abused by fucking people, I don't want to be a person who's making somebody else's dream come true. Like I feel like I'm working for the fucking these corporations or these people that they don't give a shit about me. They're going to replace me. You know, I'm disposable. And so yeah, it was, my last job was at a dispensary, because before I got that job, I was like, it was hard finding work because my hair color, and I don't know if it reads like tranny, but it was hard for me to find work. But I got the job at a dispensary. It's like, okay, this bitch, she get high. She probably get high. Let's hire her. So I was working there, but like even working there, it was just like, it was good until it wasn't. And like, you know, I feel like also like being trans, like a part of me sometimes wants to let people know that I'm trans, because I want to rid the stigma of what comes with being a trans person. Like, I'm a cool ass bitch. Like, I'm a sweetheart. Like, I really am. So I'm a very down to earth human being. And so like, you know, I think that me saying it is gonna, you know, make people like, oh shit, like, you know, like that's cool. Like she's different. Or like, you know, like not all trans people are loony. However, you know, I feel like there, you know, there were guys that were uncomfortable. They couldn't even look me in my eyes anymore and whatnot. And, you know, they would treat me a little different. And then you had, you know, people who just like would start to go complain to management thinking that I got favoritism and all this stuff. And they're just for stupid shit. It's just really for stupid stuff. And it's like a projection, because like I really was there to work and do my job, and I wasn't trying to be the, you know, the queen bee of the fucking dispensary. No, I fucking want to work, make my money, and bounce. So, but that, you know, I just, you know, there was just one day where like my feet were killing me, like, because I really do have flat feet. I was saying like my feet are really flat. They're like hands, like really flat. So my back was hurting, my feet were hurting, and I could just see everybody around me, like they were miserable, like tired, like just like aggravated, like they didn't want to be there. I'm just like, Morgan, why the fuck are you, like, girl, go suck dick. Like, bitch, go suck that, girl. You good at that. I'm like, so I'm like, you know what? The thing is, I used to do sex work when I was 17 years old, 17, 18. But I was a little reckless at that time doing that stuff. But for a while, I didn't do sex work because I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't something that, like, I don't know, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't really have good experiences at that time. This time around, I'm not gonna lie, it's still a little like I'm not proud of it. I'm not like, and that's not to shame like other sex workers who do their thing. You know, you do what you gotta do, and there's some girls that love it. And I clearly see on your channel too, there's bitches that, you know, honey, they love it. But I don't know, I do like to just, you know, share my temple, my body with, you know, like, I'm a lover. You know what I mean? I'm a lover, so like, I like love. And I know that that's not something, you know, for me or available to me, especially in my situation.
Why not?
Because, you know, I'm just, well, first and foremost, right now, what I'm doing. But on top of that, even before what I was doing, these guys, they just objectify me. They fetishize me. They just look at me as like, you know, like the sexy bitch that they want to fuck. And like,
yeah, but I can imagine there's probably a guy somewhere who likes everything about what you are.
Yeah.
Even as someone who's transitioned, there's somebody for everybody.
I mean, but you know, I get it. I guess beggars can't be choosers, but I'm also not gonna settle just because, you know, because I'm trans. Like, cause you know, I've had guys, you know, I have guys in my DMs and guys that, you know, try to talk to me, but
most of them are just looking for something quick.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, right now, especially in my life, I feel like I don't have anything to offer either. If I ever get into like a love situation or whatever, I want to be able to have something to offer. I don't want to just come in empty-handed. I had one relationship ever in my life. And he was a person that like I loved and I still care for. But we lost connection. He was a sweetheart and I got a lot of love for him, but the motherfucker gave me an STI. I knew he was like cheating on me, but he didn't want to admit it. But I felt like in many ways I made him feel a little like less of a man in a way because he couldn't like please me because of my situation. So I'm post-op. I'm a sex change.
So what have you had done?
So okay, I had in 2014 I had a vaginoplasty, you know, so I was castrated, inversion, turned into a vagina, a pussy. I know, don't be saying anything, y'all, like, oh, is that a real vagina? I know, okay, but let me fucking be delusional. I was delusional at the time.
You know what?
Huh?
You know what?
Oh, I know that they, you know, I feel like some people would, you know, because I've gotten people, you know, in my comment section, even in my own, like, personal channel where, you know, I'll talk about it and I'll refer to it as a vagina. And I'll put quotation marks. I'm like, you know, I could keep it real with myself now, even though at the time I couldn't. But I could keep it real with myself now. But people will still, you know, write, like, you know, oh, like, that's not a vagina. Like, that's not a...
Well, I mean, that's because there's a lot of haters out there.
Yeah. And it'd be anonymous, too. Like, where's your face? What's your face? Half of them, they don't be showing their face. Like, fuck out of here. Like, you're a fucking computer thug.
Do you feel like you're a female?
I mean, I feel like a lady. I'm not going to lie. I do feel like...
You present as 100% female.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But thank you, I appreciate it. Well, the thing is, it took work. You know what I mean? I didn't always, I guess, look this way.
no guy steps out of bed looking like this.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I always had a little, like, I wasn't a very masculine boy. Like, even my build wasn't like masculine. I didn't get like facial hair, so I recognize my privilege also. But I do believe in divinity and divine things, and like I feel like this was the path for me. But yeah, I wasn't like very masculine, but yeah, no, I had my badge done, I had my boobies done twice. I had the Adam's apple shape, even though I still got Adam's apple though. They tried it. You know. So I got that done, and then I got facial feminization surgery. So they just like softened my features, and yeah.
You look very feminine.
Thank you. That's the goal. You know, I feel the best when I'm, you know, Morgan. And
where do you meet your clients? Online?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, she's not a streetwalker. She doesn't do that. It's online, but it's also a job that requires a lot of patience. I'm not gonna lie, there's some times where I enjoy it, where it's fun and I have a good time.
But what are the downsides of it?
I feel like a lot of guys like they think that like I'm over here like patting my pussy, waiting for them, and just like I can't wait to get fucked by you. I can't wait to like, and it's like motherfucker, like for example, a guy will hit me up and I'll be like, okay, like, hey, how's it going? What are you looking for? And then, you know, he'll be like, oh, I'm looking for you. Like, what do you want? What the fuck you mean, what do I want? What the fuck, you don't know what the fuck you want? Like, you think I'm here, like, just waiting for some dick? Motherfucker, no. I'm not waiting for no fucking, I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Like, so I get, like, really, like, snappy sometimes, like, because I'm a sweetheart. I'll take care of my client. I'm very, you know, professional about it. But like, if you wasted my time, honey, and time is money, like I'm at a point where I used to not be like that. Like, I'm a sweetheart. I don't like taking advantage of people. Like, I even stripped for like 2 weeks, and I was bad at it because I would talk to these guys for hours in the fucking bar, and I wouldn't even be fucking getting lap dances, you know, giving them lap dances.
You worked in a gentleman's club.
Yeah.
As a female.
Yeah.
And nobody knew.
Yeah. But it was it was only for like 2 weeks, and I got outed. I got outed because these bitches were fucking jealous. And not to say it like that, because there was a lot of, you know, beautiful girls and whatever, but like what happened was that they would have us go every 15 minutes to dance, and sometimes I'll be tired and I'll be drunk because like you get paid also for the drinks that you have them pay for, or I guess that was a thing there. So I'll just wait to at the end of the dance you collect your tips. So at the end of the I'll just come out at the end of the dance at this point because I'm not fucking dancing for 15 minutes straight. Like I'm not a pole dancer. The bitches are climbing up the fucking tree, up the pole doing their thing, and I'm over here shaking ass. That's a lot of work. So I would come at the end and then just like I drop my titties on the bar and then the guys would go, and like I would get all their money. Like they would like the guys they thought I was really cute. So like girls started complaining to management, whatever, and yeah, pretty much I had to go. So but I wasn't good at it anyway. Even when like I remember like my first day or first 2 days there, because I'm just a person who likes to connect with people. I really like to like. I'm not. I mean, I've learned how to be a better hustler now doing the work that I do. But before, I didn't really have the hustler mindset. Too much integrity in a bitch. I'm too real. Like it's like, girl, chill. You could be a demon at times. You could be the devil a little bit. But I remember like I was talking to this guy and I was there like just talking to this older man and we were just talking, and then this girl who was looking out for me in the club, like she came in my ear. She's like, bitch, you here to make money or no? Because you over here, like after like 10 minutes, like if he's not giving, like, what you doing? Like, are you fucking here to make money? And she was like, in my face, I'm like, okay, you're right. Because I was just like talking to the guy, but I didn't realize like the whole point was to get him into either a champagne room or to get him, into a lap dance room so I could get my money. But my dumb ass being too friendly. I don't know. So, but yeah, so with sex work though, it's different now. Like I feel like it's so transactional now, even just sex, even like just like that little fantasy, Cinderella fantasy I had, that little, like, oh, one day I'll meet somebody and he'll love me. Like all of that, like, is down the drain. It's down the drain. And yeah, it is what it is. And I don't have an OnlyFans or anything like that, although I've thought about it because, there's revenue in that, but I have dreams.
What are your dreams?
Well, I rap and I sing, I do, music, and, I kind of want to be in entertainment business. I do.
Oh, you're entertaining.
Thank you. But I feel like since I'm not established just yet, I feel like it's different when you're established and you already like have a name and you start on OnlyFans is different. But when you start just like that, like you just are categorized into like adult entertainment and adult entertainer. And, I could be the tranny superhead shit if I wanted to go like the porn route. If I wanted to be like the, but that's not what I want to do. I don't see myself doing that. I don't want that for myself.
You want to do something more legitimate.
Yeah, I do. I think I have so much more to offer than just like my body. And I mean, at times when I'm in the act and when I'm like taking care of a John or a client, sometimes I'm just like, wow, Morgan, like, you really doing this? I'm like, bitch, you really doing this? But you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I used to feel bad, like, for, talking about it, or used to be afraid about what people would say or people's judgments. But I don't give a fuck because nobody's fucking pay my bills. Nobody's doing for me. I don't ask nobody for anything. I don't have anybody to go to be like, oh, can you help me with this? No, I don't. And even with the little I have from fucking and sucking or whatever you want to call it, I try to help however I can. And like, a part of me like thinks about my grandma because I just feel like she's my world and like she's getting older, and that like, I get concerned that sometimes like, what if one day like it's too late for me to like change her life around because like that's my world. And I don't think she'll be proud of like what I'm doing. So that's something that I think about. But
do you have any regrets in your life?
Regrets? I don't know, like I would say that like I wouldn't Okay, with my sex change, I would say like maybe. But then again, I also didn't like my parts. I didn't like my male genitalia. I didn't like having a fucking dick. So, but
How much of this is an extreme case of body dysmorphia?
Probably. What you mean? Probably all of it.
That's
right?
That's what I think.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, like, even like with my situation, I'm postdoc, and I had it done in 2014. I was the first girl who was approved by the state of New York to get it covered by insurance,
Really?
by medical insurance. Yeah. So I'm the type of person, like, I'm an all-in kind of girl. So if it's like, if I'm gonna be a girl, I'm gonna be a fucking girl. I'm gonna be a fucking woman. Like, I know I can be, a woman, but like, I'm gonna be the best trans woman I can be.
You don't want to be a chick with a...
Right. No, that wasn't my goal. My goal, and no disrespect to, because I'm sure they're living more fulfilling sex lives than I am, and there's a whole lot of clientele for them. But when I the first time I even seen, like, a trans person's naked body with a penis, I mean, no shade, but I was just like, that's like Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's like, whoa, like, what? Like, because you see, like, a girl, and then, like, she got a big old dick, and it's just like, wow, like, that's... But some people are into that, but I didn't want to be that. That's not what I wanted to be. Like, I wanted to be a woman. And a part of me was a bit delusional in the process of me getting my surgery, and I feel like my surgeon and the nurses told me a lot of, like, what I wanted to hear, and were giving me compliments like, oh, your vagina looks better than mine, and making me feel so good about it. And then I ended up losing depth because we had to dilate and keep the vaginal canal open with these dilators. And it wasn't my fault. Like, I'm disciplined. I could have kept it going and just dilated and did my thing. But it was, I would say, like, the second week, this TMI, a little graphic content here. But one of my lips, the skin graft of one of my lips, it was hanging, like, literally hanging. So she had to burn it off, and so she told me to go down, like, the size and dilator, because I was all the way at the bigger one, which is a blue one. It's thicker. It's like,
The blue one.
Right, the blue one. Exactly. So, but then I had to, go down to this, was a purple orange one of the motherfuckers. They were the skinniest one. And then, like, in a couple of days, I could work my way back up. What was that for? I was doing it, and then, like, when I was ready to work my way up, like, it was like my body was shutting down. My body was like, girl, you're not a woman. You're not a girl. And it's like, it treated it like a wound, and, like, it started closing up, and I was going through I had a lot of granulated tissue and things, and it was just very depressing. It hurt me so much, just dilating, like, putting it in me. It was just terrible. It was just a really terrible experience. And the thing is, like, after that, like, I had some depth to, like, get fingered, you know what I mean? And that felt good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have sensation, you know what I mean? So that felt good, but, like, I was done for. I couldn't, like, be penetrated by a penis. I'm on a waiting list right now for a possible revision, but I'm still, like, I went through so much with my surgery, diapers and depression and, like, all kinds of just crazy that I just wonder, like, am I doing it for me, or am I doing it to satisfy a man? Am I getting it done to have an extra hole to play with? Because, there's only so much you could get fucked in the ass, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know, like, I don't think I want to just go through all of that process just to have that to show for, to have a vagina for a man to penetrate. It just feels a bit stupid and superficial, in a way. But, like, like, going back to, like, my ex, when I was talking about my ex, with him, like, at times I felt like he felt like he couldn't please me because my libido isn't the same as it used to be. And he just, it's my parts is.
You're taking hormones?
Yes, I'm on estrogen.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm in a lower dosage because I'm post-op now. So.
But that affects your sex drive.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have a sex drive. I do. It's just like even like just with like my parts, like it takes like nobody can make me come. These guys don't know how to fucking do it. They don't know how to make, I know my body. And I know I mean, that's not only an issue with trans women or me. There's a lot of women that complain about the same thing. But yeah, at times I felt like, inadequate, and I felt like that's why he cheated on me because, he felt like he couldn't please me. And at the end of the day, like he wanted to penetrate like my pussy. He would be like, oh, I can't wait till you open that. I can't wait till you open it. And like, you know how that makes you feel? Like I used to make it feel like just so like, oh, like I'm not enough. Like that doesn't feel good. So, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Morgan, one more question.
Oof.
What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in all of this?
In all of what?
Everything we just talked about.
Because we talked about that. The biggest lesson? Well, I would say, I guess, I don't know if it's a lesson, but be authentic. I feel like we live in a world where it's like so much easier to play a character. Not for me, at least. It's very easy to be myself. I want to be myself. In a world that tells you to be something other, I think it's important to just remain true to who you are and to fight for your position in this world. Nothing's given to you. Nothing's, everything's earned. In life, you earn your position. You know what I mean? That's why with these microwavable trans people that they just, next day, I'm a trans woman, a beard and all, like, honey, no, you're not. No shade. But yeah, so just be authentic. Like, I just think that I'm so fearless now. I'm so like at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm going to follow my dreams. I'm going to do what I have to do what I need to do. I don't care if anybody got something to say. I'm going to be loud. I'm going to take space. I'm going to be me. So yeah.
Excellent. Morgan, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Even though Soft White Underbelly consists of a lot of videos, it's really still a photography project to me. And if you appreciate the photography, sometimes it's difficult to enjoy it when it's scrolling down the screen, which is the only option I had in this horizontal format on YouTube. So last year we came out with the first Soft White Underbelly book, which is a collection of the best portraits from the thousands of interviews I've done. Each portrait in this book is accompanied by an interesting quote from the person's interview.
Oh my God.
There's more.
Wow. These aren't as bad as I thought. I look like a witch.
I will not be reprinting this book when it sells out. So once it's gone for good. You can order yours at softwhiteunderbelly.org. $125, $150 for a signed copy. And thank you for watching.